Welcome to our new podcast of Temple Bet Shalom called Spiritually Speaking. Today, as our new episode, we introduce David Kirschtel, the CEO of JCC. And I'm so excited to host you, David. Welcome to our temple. We have some wine here. We're going to do cheers because we're spiritually speaking. So here's your glass. Cheers, l'chaim.
L'chaim.
So David, I've known you for many years, and you are my source of inspiration because I know how much of energy and heart and mind you're putting into Jewish community around us. And you're making JCC as our second home for all of us. And you are such an inspiration for everybody around you. So my first question to you would be, what was your initial idea? How did you start all of that?
Well, Anna, first of all, thank you for allowing me to participate in the first episode. Mm-hmm. The wine is quite good, so thank you very much. And
awesome.
You're also inspiring for me, so it's really nice to spend some time with you and to share with you that it was actually about 26 years ago that I became the CEO of the JCC. Mm-hmm. And that happened. I had been a board member for 5 or 6 years. Mm-hmm. And the one executive director of the JCC was leaving. Mm-hmm. And I was really inspired because my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, mm-hmm. he was the executive director of the Anti-Defamation League in New England. Oh. And I saw the impact that he was able to make in the community, mm-hmm. All of New England. Mm-hmm. And I really felt strongly after being a board member for 5 or 6 years that I thought that I could really make a difference mm-hmm. in building the Jewish community in Rockland. So I applied for the position. Mm-hmm. And I was the only candidate from in Rockland. There were several candidates from other JCCs, mm-hmm. other execs, and I'm very grateful that the nominating the committee, mm-hmm. the committee that was making the decision, decided that I would be the right candidate. And I guess, as they say, the rest is history.
Wow, this is so exciting. Wow. So what would be the surprise factor in your leading JCC? What surprised you the most when you started leading the community?
Well, I can't say that I was surprised mm-hmm. because having been a board member for, mm-hmm. Again, 5 or 6 years, mm-hmm. I actually knew what to expect. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I knew to expect the fact was mm-hmm. that there was no money, mm-hmm. that there was a very small building, mm-hmm. that we were not successful raising enough capital. So I mm-hmm. knew the challenges that existed. Mm-hmm. But I also knew that people in the community really cared about the community mm-hmm. and that, together, mm-hmm. I felt that we could find a way mm-hmm. to build and strengthen the community. So mm-hmm. I went in with my eyes wide open, obviously, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it really was probably the best decision I've ever made in my life, outside, of course, of marrying my beautiful bride, Elena.
Wow.
Good thing I said that.
Absolutely. Well, I love your beautiful wife as well, and I wanted to go a little bit deeper into our conversation and this whole idea that you knew actually what to do as a board member, right? But to raise funds and to run such a humongous community. Starting with nothing, literally, and develop it to the level that this community is at right now. What is the catch? What's the secret?
Look, when we first started out, mm-hmm. We started in a converted office building. Mm-hmm. It was a small building. It was 26,000 square feet, mm-hmm. very small. Mm-hmm. And we had a budget at that time of under $2 million. My background originally was accounting. I had more of a business background, but my wife, who is she has her master's in social work, she always thought that I had very good people skills. So I may not have officially been a social worker, but I always felt good about my skills in dealing with people. And I realized that in order to grow the community, it could never be done just by me. It would require a community to get involved and be engaged. And we were extremely fortunate that there were a lot of people who cared, but they needed somebody to lead them. And I like to believe that I'm a good cheerleader, somebody that hopefully motivates people. And without the community and people, whether it be staff, whether it be donors, whether it be community members, you need all of those in order to build a community. And many people over the years would say about Rockland County, it can't be done in Rockland County. And I've heard that for the last 30 years.
Yes.
And I truly believe that anything can be done, no guarantees, but anything can be done if you have people who are willing to get involved, who are willing to commit, that you can accomplish anything. So over the last 25 years, there were many times when we easily, as a community, could have said we can't do it. But again, I believe that if you believe in something and you inspire other people to get involved, you can get it done.
Wow, this is certainly your people's person, and you run amazing business, but besides the business part of that, your secret is being people's person, pretty much, and making others around you lead into leaders, right? So because it takes a village to run the community, obviously, and you're so good at this. So, and you're engaging like so easily other people because you are so personable and you have really nice smile and you do care, and I know that you do care. So what would be the most personal story from your community that you came around, that you helped people?
So
if you can give me an example. Because,
Sure. So we had a situation where I had a board member, a friend of mine, who he and his wife made a very generous donation for capital for the building. Very generous, and I really appreciated it. And then a few years later, he shared with me, this friend, board member, shared with me that his wife, if she had to do it over again, she would not have donated the money to the campus. In fact, she would have considered donating it, additional funds, to their temple.
Wow.
Now, I felt terrible.
Of course.
I felt terrible because here they entrusted money. They, part of it was they weren't using the facility, and they just felt that he didn't feel this way, but she just felt that it wasn't a good community investment. And then you move forward a year or so later, and her mother and her mother's sister, two people who had lost their husbands, living close by, connected at the hip, best friends, together all the time. And then the mother died. So the aunt was all alone. And she had no idea what she was going to do. And so to shorten the story, because otherwise we'll never be able to include it in this podcast, she found a way from Suffern to drive the back roads down to the campus in West Nyack. And she came, she met a group of people who became her friends. She started playing mahjong with them. She started exercising, going to the gym, And months later, she came back to me, and she told me and she told her kids that the JCC saved her life.
Wow.
So for me, sometimes even when you feel that you feel badly, it takes something like that to realize the impact. And to this day, I can remember. This goes back 15, 20 years ago. She just turned 100.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
In Greater Washington, she left the community 10 years ago, and I called her for her 100th birthday. I hadn't spoken to her in a bunch of years.
Wow.
And I called her to wish her a happy birthday. And then I got the feedback back how happy she was that I had called her. So for me, that made me feel really good.
Of course.
And so my attitude is even if things don't quite go your way, there's a long runway, and you just never know when someone will realize the impact.
Wow. This is an amazing story on its own, right? And you are so good to other people. I know that personally when you call me and congratulating me with my birthday or anything that goes on in my life, you also helped my family that just came recently from Israel to establish themselves here, and I cannot thank you enough. I have so much gratitude towards what you have done for me and my family personally. And it's amazing to hear this story that sometimes, you want to give up, but, it's because you don't feel, rewarded or anything like that, but the story comes around, right? So it's very, very interesting. You are such a mensch in this way. How do you find time and energy to reach out to everybody? I'm not really the big part of JCC, although I am, sort of, but not really, I'm not on the board, but still you're calling me, I know you're calling multiple people that I know, and you find the time. How do you manage everything?
Listen, a lot of times you don't, and you feel bad that there are people that you don't reach out to and you can't get a hold of. And not to minimize you, Anna, but you're actually a special person who also has extremely positive energy. So it's always nice to pick up the phone and call you because you can hear your smile on the other end. and that's the truth. So I think probably one of the most frustrating things about being the CEO is there are so many people that you'd like to pick up the phone and call.
Right.
And you can't call everybody. And then when you call somebody and they're so appreciative that you call them, especially, if it's not a donor, it's just somebody that you call up who is, quote, a regular member.
Right.
Or just somebody in the community. Many times those calls are actually even more rewarding because, for the donor, they almost maybe expect that you're going to pick up the phone if you're doing a good job. And you're doing it not just because they're a donor, because you do appreciate what they do.
Right.
But when you pick up the phone and call somebody who it's really not that you're necessarily getting a benefit from, if it's the person who wants to come to the JCC because someone has called you and they have no money, but you want to welcome them in many ways even more so than the person who does. So again, it's frustrating because there's a limited time in the day, and when you have a large staff and a lot of people and a big board, and it can be overwhelming. So it is tiring.
Of course.
And after 25 plus years, it's tiring, but many times it still feels like it's the first year. And that's how I feel about the work that we do. So that's what motivates you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And by the way, when you call me or call anybody else, I'm sure that everybody can actually feel your smile and your good intention.
Hopefully.
So this is
Hopefully.
like back at you for sure.
Thank you.
It's really amazing. I want to ask you, since you said it's frustrating to manage like so many people and not having enough time during the day. What's the craziest thing that happened in your 25, 26 years of managing JCC? Can you remember anything like super crazy or super funny or super weird? Any moment like that?
You know what? I don't know about craziest. I mean, for me, and sometimes people, can get annoyed when the same thing comes up many times. But I can remember, really the most inspiring thing that happened, and somewhat crazy if you think about it, was when we did host the JCC Maccabi Games in 2012. And it was the first time and only time that we hosted the games, and I felt an obligation, having started in 2000 and being on the board 5 years before then. So I had the experience of the JCC Maccabi Games, including for my two sons, over 17 years. So I felt that in Rockland, we needed to host the games because all of these other communities around the country hosted, so our people could come. Why shouldn't we host? And again, I always appreciated the fact when people would say, well, we can't host it in Rockland. I always loved that because when you say we can't do it, we know that we can do it. But really the most meaningful thing was when we decided to host the games and dedicate the games to the memory of the 11 athletes in Munich. And I met ultimately the widows Anki Spitzer and Alana Romano and became good friends with them. And ultimately, we worked for a minute of silence, and really at the end of the day, I considered that whole effort a success. And to this day, and again, so that was 2012, 10, that we started 15 years ago. I still speak to Anki Spitzer every couple of weeks now, and that was more than 10 years ago. And when my son Aaron got married in Israel to Michal, she was at the wedding, and really we became family. But to take on a cause like a minute of silence, which would certainly be something that you wouldn't think could ever happen, and to see the impact that you can have, it was mind-boggling and really was unbelievable from my perspective.
This is phenomenal. I hear your motto of Hakol Hefshari, everything is possible, coming to life. And you working for that and taking risks. And this is just so inspiring for me to hear, and this is definitely a model how you work your community and what you do for your community. You mentioned Aaron, and I know Aaron and Michal, and they're wonderful. How do you manage your family and your second family? How do you, and I ask myself this question all the time because there's a fine line in between your family and your extended family. How do you do that?
It's family. The JCC is family. The staff is family. The community is family. So, and we're all human. So, you do your best to manage it and to balance it and to be there. And you like to believe that most people, and it's true, there are so many great people in our community that most people can feel your passion for being there for them. The only thing that can be negative is when you feel bad that you feel that maybe you couldn't be there for them. But it wasn't right. But it's not because you didn't try to be and want to be. And I think what you try to do after that is, I'd like to say we try to learn from what we don't get done. And I always believe in the day that I stop trying to do better is the day that I should stop working. I think we can always improve and do better. And so if I have a clear head and at least feel good that we're trying to do the right thing, I think 9 out of 10 times people feel that and know that. And that's good enough even when we're probably harder on ourselves than they are on us.
Right. So whatever you just said, you are actually answering my next question.
Oh, good.
About,
I can take a break.
No.
I can take another l'chaim.
Yes. We're almost done. Yeah, but my next question would be like, how do you feel community gives back to you? And this is how you feel exactly, because community gives back to you all the time, and you feel that. And this is really like the most rewarding thing in the world, and I can relate to that as well, because I'm running, my community here as well. But I have one more question before we're wrapping up.
Okay.
And my question would be, can you reveal something about you that people cannot think about or don't know about you? Is there like a thing that you can share with me or like everybody that there's something that people don't know about you?
That's a good question. I don't know that I even would answer that if I could really come up with something good. But I would say that I am an obsessive person. And I'm just obsessive to try to, in doing things. So,
right.
And I'm very regimented, and I'm kind of, I'm always, I'm very straightforward in who I am, and you know what?
Right, you are.
I'm happy with who I am, and at this stage, although we all can improve and change, at this stage I'm not changing that. That's who I am, and I feel good about that. And
I don't think you should change anything, because you're doing so well and just really, really amazing. So,
well, the one thing that I would say, because listen, we could sit here and say everything is perfect, and isn't everything great? And so, again, as an optimist, no, everything is not perfect, and no, everything is not great.
Right.
But, for me and the JCC, I understand how quickly we can lose what we have, whether it be family, whether it be community, whether it be, over the years, Reuben Gittleman Hebrew Day School that closes.
Yeah.
We can't take anything for granted. So if I could make one plug, that plug would be that as much as we've worked really hard over the 25 years to raise money and eliminate debt, and we've made progress in that, if we want to secure a future, securing a future comes with securing not just the programs that we run, but it's the building that is 135,000 square feet that we live in every day.
Right.
That has a huge roof that could cost $750,000 to replace, and a parking lot that could cost $650,000 to replace, and 45 air conditioning units. So the one thing that we need to do, that I want to make sure that we do get done, is to raise the capital to build that endowment so that we can make sure that our Jewish community campus is here long term and secure. Because no matter what you do, you have to provide a great product with a great facility, with great staff and great people. And if you ever let that down, people will stop coming. So that's what we need to do.
Wow. So, this is absolutely amazing to hear about everything that you're doing for the community, but most importantly, it's really, really amazing that you are here to stay for our children, our grandchildren, and the next generation. And you care so much about continuity of our Jewish community in Rockland County. And I am in awe with you, and I'm sure other people, inspired by you so much. So thank you so much for doing what you're doing and for being here with us.
Well, I would conclude with I'm in awe of you as well. And even though our community has gone through lots of changes, I still believe we have a great community with great potential. And having a son and daughter-in-law and now 2 grandchildren who lived with us
Mazel tov, by the way.
who lived with us for
Mazel
almost
tov, yes.
3 years, who now have bought their own home 3 minutes away
That's amazing.
from us.
Wow.
We're here to stay.
That's amazing.
And we love our community.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Cheers to that. L'chaim. Thank you so much.
L'chaim.
By the way, if you hear today, if you bumped into David and you see his charismatic smile, that means that he touched your life and he was able to do something for you that you don't know about, and he knows about that, and that would be only him inside smiling. So cheers to that. And
Again, another l'chaim.
another l'chaim, and thank you and mazel tov to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us for our first podcast coming from Temple Bet Shalom about spiritually speaking.